So this morning I thought I'd share a few remarks with you and go a little bit towards a personal thing, and that's to talk about my hometown. And of course my hometown includes many factors as we look at it, none the least being the city of Elmhurst and the great city that I grew up in, but also the educational process that I was able to experience going through K through 12 and then beyond that. But my hometown, I think, is best summarized in some words that Joel Vetch said when he said, "It's my hometown, but it's also a great town." There's a lot of stories here when you peel back the layers. So as I go through a little bit of my personal relationship here with the college, I want you to think about your relationship with this college, with this city, and how important it is to all of us. So it's true for Elmhurst. There are many layers that make this town great, that make this facility great, and make this college great. To start, home is where your heart is. Feeling of family and close relationships. It's a community. It's a family, and it's comprised of many facets. Whether it be health, safety, welfare, as the case may be, which is our charge as government, but also the educational and intellectual challenges that we have enjoyed over the years. But along with those personal relationships, the spirit of growth in your hometown carries with you wherever you go, whatever facet of life that you may engage in. So there are several key factors that I have enjoyed here, and along with my family and watching them grow up. But key among them is a constant year relationship, year after year, with this institution and what it has meant to this college, this growth, and to all of us in this room. And that's why we're here today. Today we observe the 50th anniversary of the President's Breakfast. 50 years. And by the way, I must confess, I think I was at the first one. As I was reflecting on that, I'm pretty sure I was, because I tried not to miss it. This has always been a community event that nobody wanted to miss, because we learned so much more about our town, our institution, our college. But my time at the college started in Old Main. Yes, Old Main. Now, did I take some intellectual class? I did. It was my confirmation classes in the First Congregational Church here in Elmhurst. And I was, every Sunday, spent time over there. Now, I must admit, it was like going to school again and again. However, it was followed by many intellectual pursuits at this college at an early age. Yes, it started in the mall and pick up football games. And we played football in that mall until somebody politely said, "You got to leave." And we said, "But we're playing football." "No, it's time to go now." And so as a young person, we were several times kicked off, but we kept on coming back, Troy. I know you would understand that. So in high school, I enjoyed being in a musical here at the college and over in our theater, and enjoyed that part. And off and on, we would experience relationships between high school and college and this institution. I went to college later on and then graduated from law school and came back, and then had enjoyed a relationship with many of the presidents of this college, starting with Donald Kleckner, who I knew well, and followed by Ivan Frick, Brian Curitin, Alan Ray, and today, of course, President Van Aken. All have helped in my career and my development as a lawyer, as a citizen of this town, and ultimately serving in government. But I wanted to review that with you because it's not just my story, it's your story. And as you think about your relationship with this school, it's your hometown and the facilities that you want. 150 years of growth and contribution by the college to this town has made it what it is today. And for 50 years, we have met in this room, enjoying this community breakfast to share a relationship that all of us have. So as the college prepares to celebrate its sexcentennial in 2021, U.S. News and World Report ranks in among the top 20 regional colleges in the Midwest, as well as the region's best values. Offering more than 60 majors and 15 graduate programs, Elmhurst College is deeply committed to helping students define their values, explore the world, and prepare to reach their full potential in college and in the world beyond. In June 2019, the college announced that it will become Elmhurst University on June 30th, 2020, led by our great president, Troy Van Aken. I think that's a great milestone. So please join me in honoring America with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by former Mayor Tom Marcucci.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
Thank you. Now I would call on Scott Matheny to deliver the invocation.
Thank you. There is in the German tradition of this institution a conversation about my story, your story, and the story. It is a way of talking about the story of God and history and a way of our life here at this college. My story, your story, the story. The story of God's work. Let us join together in prayer, beloved. Let us pray. Morning has broken, and as the spring beckons us, we gather giving thanks for the bounty of all the blessings that have been so richly bestowed upon us. For you, eternal and holy one, invite us to follow the path, a path that has for us a life of passion, purpose, and joy. And so for 149 years, this college so richly bestowed invites all to follow their path, that they might find life, passion, purpose, and joy. So set this time aside with pleasure, gracious one, blessing us with the fellowship of tables, blessing us with food, and even more so. Thankful for leadership that comes to us in so many ways, through our government, through our life and love, through our college with Troy. For all of this we give thanks, for we are mindful of the times that we live in and the gifts that we are given: time, community, love, this college. Grace us, Almighty One, then, with the joys of time this morning. This we pray with thankfulness. Amen. I didn't make a comment about the
He always has a remark after he gives his invocation. He said that most of that was for me personally. So I want to take advantage right now of introducing you to some of our guests, special guests that have served in government and do such a great job for us. So if you would join me and hold your applause until the end, and then we can have a round of applause and scream and holler. Welcome. Scream and holler, and we can just enjoy our time with our fellow guests. So from Congressman Raja, I'm going to call him Congressman Raja's office, we have with us Sabi Abraham over there. Thank you for being with us today. From the state of Illinois, we have a great state senator, Susie Joack Hilton. Senator, over here. Representative Deanne Mazzocchi from Elmhurst. And from DuPage County, we have Dan Cronin. Is Dan here? Dan is not here, but he said he'll be here later, and sometimes he comes in a little bit late. But if you don't see him here, you'll see him in the parade. Chris Kaczarubis, our great circuit court clerk. Pete DeCiani, member of the County Board, District 2. Sean Noonan, member of the County Board, District 2. The Honorable James McCluskey, judge for the 18th Circuit Court. From the city of Elmhurst, our great city of Elmhurst, my hometown, the mayor of the city of Elmhurst, who's doing a great job for us, Steve Morley. Kevin York, alderman of the 4th Ward, alderman forever. Noel Toludo, alderman of 4th Ward. Scott Levin, Scott is here, as always, alderman of the 5th Ward. Mark Mulliner, alderman of the 7th Ward, here in the city of Elmhurst. Mark. Jim Garbowsky, our city manager. Mike Kopp, assistant city manager. And Elaine Lipovitz, who is our treasurer, city of Elmhurst. Jackie Haddad Tamer, the city clerk, and Elaine Franz, the city planner, city of Elmhurst. From District 205, the Board of Education, Cara Cafario, who is our president of the Board of Education. Margaret Harrell, vice president of District 205. And Jim Collins, member of the District 205 Board of Education. From the Park District, Vince Spaeth, Kevin Graff, Claire Cabisa, Mary Keys, and Carolyn Umbiaco, and Jim Rogers. From the Library Board, Carol Jacobson, Ingrid Beckman, and Bill Shankin. From the City College Commission, we have Peter Griffin, who's the chair. Peter, over here. We have Sarah Diamond, Tom Marcucci, Desiree Chen. Where are you, Desiree? Back there. And Marty Gaybauer. Thank you, Marty. We also have the great president of the College of DuPage, who's doing a phenomenal job for us, our partner in so many ways, and we're proud of you. Brian Caputo, who's our president of the College of DuPage. David Moyer, Superintendent, District 205. Scott Helton, Superintendent, DuPage High School, District 88. And David Oberg, Executive Director, Elmhurst History Museum, right in the back. And finally, but not least, the mayor of Franklin Park is here, the Honorable Barrett Peterson. Okay, that of course, now it's time for that rounding applause that we wanted for all of our. I can't think of a tougher time in history than it is today to be in public life, with all the scrutiny and everything that goes on to it. So these people are special to all of us. For the time they give, the efforts they give, I know a little bit about it, and I know what they do day in and day out, and we're very fortunate to have all the people that were there, but more fortunate to have you because you support them. And trust me when I tell you, they want your vote. I've been in government a long time, as you know, and one of the things I always didn't really understand until the end, if somebody missed introducing me, how it works, because they then come back and they say, I'm sorry I missed this person, and they emphasize them and they're introduced all by themselves. So Beth Hostler, I'm sorry that I missed introducing you, but let me introduce the member of the District 205 Board of Education, Beth Hostler. So a round of applause for her. So now it's my great pleasure to introduce to you the mayor of the city of Elmhurst. But before I do that, I just want to let the mayor know and remind him I had lunch with his mother. You better be on your best behavior because I have a lot of stories that we can go through. She's doing well, by the way. Thought I'd tell you that. After serving 6 years as alderman in the city of Elmhurst, Steve Morley was elected to his first term as mayor in 2013. As mayor, he is the face and the voice of this great city, addressing major issues such as flood control, downtown redevelopment, quality of life. His devotion to economic progress and good government is apparent throughout our city, wherever you go. As residents of Elmhurst, we all benefit from his steady and capable leadership. A lifelong resident of Elmhurst, Mayor Morley was educated in our local schools and later received his bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Iowa. A businessman, Mayor Morley is a principal in the marketing and consulting firm of Every Door Direct Media, which is dedicated to helping small businesses reach their targeted market and sales. So please join me in welcoming our mayor, Mayor Steve Morley.
There we go. Promise to my wife. She knows I'm going to shake a lot of hands. She told me I couldn't. Thank you, Lee. Always a pleasure, always a special day to help kick off, one of our 2 St. Patrick's Days here in Elmhurst. I want to thank you for this opportunity to giving me just a little bit of your time to bring you up to speed, not only on the city, but some of the things we're doing together with the college. I did talk to Desiree earlier. I said, how much time do I have? She said, 2 minutes. I brought speech 22. It's longer than 2 minutes, Desiree, but I'll do what I can to get through it. The city of Elmhurst and Elmhurst College continue to benefit and thrive as we work together for our future. Elmhurst College contributes to this environment and to the quality of life in Elmhurst through resources and events such as lectures, the Jazz Festival, June Jazz. They are also an asset for case studies and projects around town. I think we all know just having college students around with their energy and their optimism keeps us on our toes and keeps our community vibrant. Elmhurst is booming. We've had over $500 million in development in the city of Elmhurst in the last 4 years. Our cash on hand and our fund balances continue to exceed our policy listed amounts. As Lee mentioned, we continue to work on stormwater management. The issue that we have in town when we have a 100-year flood is a 121 acre-foot problem. That's 325,000 gallons times 121. Happy to say over the last 6 years we've put in 11 individual projects. We have 2 more coming that will put us over 121 acre feet. I am very happy to announce, and most of you should know this, and President Cafario is here, and she deserves a lot of this credit, but we recently signed an agreement with District 205 to work together to help our community and mitigate stormwater on a couple of their properties. A round of applause, please. Home values in Elmhurst are up over 40% in the last 5 years, and that's no small part due to the fact that we used to be known as the town that floods, and now we're known as the town that addresses flooding, and that's a pretty big deal. We work in Elmhurst to make the type of community that continues to lead and be sought out by college students, faculty, staff, and visitors. Downtown is going through a facelift. We're going to get a new train station. We've been working on it now. We just started our phase 2 engineering. Train station is going to cost us about $25 million. Anytime you get the government involved, it's going to be expensive. Anytime you get the federal government involved, it's going to be very expensive. Federal government, due to regulations, et cetera, it's going to run us about $800 a square foot. If any of you build homes in town, you know how expensive $800 a square foot is to meet all the regulations. However, due to the hard work of our staff, our representatives in Springfield, thank you very much, we have garnered over $20 million in funding alone, in grants, so that's a pretty big deal that the residents of Elmhurst will not be sharing that burden. We continue to renovate our downtown. York Theater, what I call the heartbeat of downtown Elmhurst, has gone through a multi-million-dollar revamp. As I said, we try to appeal to everybody, including college kids. York Theater now serves beer. They have reclining heated seats, remodeled a concession stand that I mentioned that they serve beer. Axplosion is another restaurant that came into town. They're up on Grand Avenue where the old Oliver's used to be. At least you remember Oliver's, right? Sure. That's where you can drink beer and throw an axe. Like I know you were thinking, how do you add to drinking beer? Well, now you can throw axes and drink beer. So that's pretty good. We continue to diversify our housing in town by adding a bunch of transit-oriented development, TOD as we call it. That's density in our downtown. Not only does that contribute to the marketplace down there and allow those mom and pop shops to thrive with that density, but it's also a haven for our seniors who maybe don't want to take care of their homes anymore, but still want to live in Elmhurst, and some new folks. It's like a farm system. We have young married couples in these apartments and these dense developments that will someday buy in Elmhurst. We're very proud of that. Lee, you mentioned my mother. I have to warn you, we're doing so well in our downtown. My father's moving back to town. Don't say I didn't give you fair warning.
We'll be seeing them.
Specifically, over the last year, the city and the college have worked together on several items. One of the best things we did is we vacated Walter Street. So if you know where our library is, if you walk out our front door and walk straight across the street, that's Walter Street. This is one of the things that government moves slow, but this is one we got right. Walter Street was surrounded on both sides by the college. And really it becomes a liability for Elmhurst. We have to maintain the streets, we have to clean the streets, we have to plow the streets, or what we can do is we can strike an agreement with the college. We can turn that over to them. They allow us to keep our utilities underneath, but it really allows for flexibility with the college. I'm very proud of that. The 2020 census is kicking off this month, and Elmhurst College student Michelle Cabanas was a local face for our city census campaign. In addition, Elmhurst College Director of Facilities Management, Mike Emerson, is a member of our Complete Count Committee. We're thankful for him. They're having a pizza night to inform you on that on March 18th. Dr. Sarah Strom-Kays and her communications class, undergraduate class 317, I need to go back to school. 317 class worked on our outreach program to make sure that every Elmhurst College student counts. Our Town and Gown Commission continues to thrive and enhance and strengthen the relationship in communication and provide opportunities between Elmhurst College officials, its students, and the city of Elmhurst. I saw Peter here earlier. Both Peter and Sarah Diamond run that commission. Thank you very much. We also instituted recently, with no small help with the college, we instituted an Elmhurst Public Arts Commission. So it's a way to not only to inventory public art in Elmhurst, but promote public art for the benefit of everybody. We kicked off this commission with an event right here at Elmhurst College at the A.C. Buehler Library. Buehler? Okay. Anyway, and I'm happy to say that Betsy Golterman and Sue Ellen Roca are on that commission, and we kicked it off at the library where Chicagoland's premier exhibit of Chicago Imagist and abstract art is, and it's fantastic. It was a great way to kick off not only our commission, but highlight one of the treasures here in Elmhurst. Finally, and in closing, I have to say that us at City Hall get very nervous when a large institution in our town talks about a name change, as you can imagine. And I'm very happy to say, and we were very happy and relieved at City Hall when you decided to keep Elmhurst in the name. Finally, the Elmhurst St. Patrick's Day Parade is today, and I hope to see you all at noon. Thank you very much.
We weren't going to name it Morley University. Something in that order. So, thank you again for being here, and Mayor, thank you for the great job you do on behalf of all Elmhurst residents. Education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving your community and world better than you found it. That statement was issued by Marion Edelman. This quote speaks of a lifelong learning for the whole person to reach their potential in a global society. Values that Elmhurst College, its president, Troy Van Aken, and the college's Board of Trustees promote. President Van Aken has led this great college for nearly 4 years. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Hillsdale College and master's and doctoral degrees in mathematics from Bowling Green State University. He is a former college president, math professor, athletic director, successful fundraiser, and yes, creator of 3 successful technology-related companies. Talk about a guy that's busy and well-diversed. While I speak of President Van Aken's credentials, and proudly do so, they would not be complete if I didn't recognize his partner and closest advisor, Dr. Annette Van Aken, who holds a bachelor's degree in early childhood education, a master's degree in elementary education, and a doctoral degree in curriculum and instruction. Dr. Van Aken. Now listen to this. The Van Akens have 2 children. Trey, who we recognized last year, who was here last year, has now graduated from this fine institution with an MBA degree from Elmhurst College and is currently finishing his first year of medical school at Wayne State University in Detroit. How proud we are of him. And Gabriella, their daughter, is a senior at Hillsdale College and graduated in May and has been accepted to 8 medical schools. Now, a little side note, if you want to take a bet, I'd bet on the University of Michigan where she's going to go. The spirit and energy of the Van Akens first brought to our campus continues today. It's not unusual to see President Van Aken meeting with students and participating in several college events on a regular basis. The energy on campus extends to the academic side as well. With more than 60 majors and 15 master degree programs, coupled with hundreds of student opportunities for internships here and abroad, Elmhurst College leads the field in undergraduate and graduate opportunities. At the same time, the college is dedicated to helping its students make the most of these opportunities while they're here, from the moment they are welcomed to campus to the day they walk across the stage to accept their diploma and are launched into the next phase of their life. All of these activities are supervised by this great president. So we have a video that we want to show to you. And that video is called The Student Experience at Elmhurst, and it captures the Elmhurst Journey. After the video, please join me in welcoming our president, the host for today's event, Dr. Troy Van Aken.
My name is Michael. I'm a senior here. I study special education, and I'm a first-generation college student.
My name is Lauren Berryhill. I'm a junior, and I'm a music education major.
My name is Sarah Jean Dickey. I am a double major in mathematics and computer science with a minor in Spanish, and I'm a senior.
My name is Randy Morales. I'm a freshman, and I'm a psychology major.
I transferred to Elmhurst because I like the small class sizes, and I really value that professor-student relationship that I knew that I was going to get here.
When I was looking at other colleges, it just didn't feel like people cared and wanted you there the same way that when you came to Elmhurst. They just really wanted you to be there and to learn and grow, and I felt like I would be comfortable coming here, but also be pushed in so many ways to grow and become better.
I already knew some people who went here, and I'd visit a couple times just to hang out with them. I just really liked being around them and being here. And the campus itself is absolutely beautiful.
My sister did go to school here as well. I kind of already knew the campus a little bit, knew it was a great school. I'm glad I chose Elmhurst because it was probably the best place for me, and it was the best monetary decision as well.
When I first transferred, I lived in apartments, but now I live in Stanger, and I really couldn't picture it any other way. Like, I love being on campus. There's just something about rolling out of bed and going to class that I love.
I started out in Chick my freshman year here. I moved to Niebuhr halfway through. I lived in Chick my sophomore year as well, and I've been living in an on-campus house on Myrtle for the past 2 years, and I love it there.
I've actually only lived in Cureton Hall all 3 years. I really could stay there my 4th year and be fine.
I love the community that it brought, that you were one room away from your friends, you were eating dinner on campus together almost every night, and just that there were different opportunities within the residence halls.
A day in the life is pretty hectic. Most music ed majors, their classes are in the mornings and then their ensembles are in the afternoon. So I'm pretty much boom, 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 thing to thing to thing.
I'm a morning person, so whether I have class in the morning or not, I like to wake up a little bit on the earlier side.
So I'd wake up at 5:30, practice, eat breakfast quickly, go to my 9 a.m.
Probably have class till around noon, and depending on the day, I'll probably head out to the local middle school to take some time with my students there, go to the library to do some homework, and then I also work at the library.
Get out of class, go home, change, go directly to work.
I'll usually have work later in the afternoon, and then eat dinner, maybe do some more homework, watch a movie.
Get a dinner or some snacks at the Roost, and then head back to my dorm to do some homework and head to bed.
Usually I spend time with my friends at night, and that's when I get to catch up on what's going on.
My favorite place on campus is on the 3rd floor of the education department. It's the best place to study with the best view.
I have 2 favorite places on campus. One is my house, but I also love the conference room in Daniels.
My favorite place would be the cafeteria.
Sitting in Founders, I love to sit at one of those tables and do homework. You can be in there to have fun, you can be in there to study, and the vibe can be whatever you want it to be.
Out of the 4 classes that I took this past semester, my favorite class was acting. The professor was Dr. Tony Noyce. He is such a character. He's so awesome to be around. It was such a fun experience.
And my favorite class was probably linear algebra with Dr. Crawford. It was part theory and part computation, which I really liked how it pulled those 2 concepts together. And Dr. Crawford is just an amazing teacher. I've had her almost every semester since I've been here.
Post-colonial theory with Dr. Janice Lively, and that class had me thinking about it like all day.
Music theory class, which is probably an interesting choice because it was at 8 a.m. every single day my freshman year, both semesters, which no one likes 8 a.m.s in college. My professor, Mr. Streeter, is incredible, and my class became more of a community than anything. It was a really nice way to come into college, and honestly, my best friends came out of that class.
One of my favorite activities is the honors program. I've been involved with it all 4 years that I've been on campus here. I'm also involved in Alpha Phi Omega here on campus. You do a lot of service in the community. You get to build relationships with people in the organization, and you get to do a lot of leadership activities.
I've been involved in lots of student groups on campus, all the choral ensembles, the vocal ensembles, and I loved being in late night blues, vocal jazz. We just had a lot of fun and really bonded with each other. I'm also a member of Phi Mu. It's a really fun way to meet people, but also to give back to others that need it.
My favorite organizations that I've been a part of is definitely the Black Student Union, because I really like what they're doing for the campus overall and the social justice issues that they're pursuing on campus.
I'm pretty much just involved with running. I'm really proud to be a Blue Jay because It's an amazing community. Blue also looks really nice when we're running, so it's awesome.
Love being a student ambassador in the Office of Admissions. It's really great because I get to give tours to all these potential students, whether they're first years or transfers.
I'm a CA for the ELSA students, which basically means that I live in the dorms that they also live in to provide any extra support that they might need. And I'm really proud to be part of this program, especially because it's one of the few in the country. And it's awesome because I work with students with disabilities in classrooms, and they always ask me, oh, can I go to Elmhurst? And I can say confidently, yes, you can go to Elmhurst.
When I cross the stage at graduation, I'll be most proud of all the research that I've done. I didn't come into college with the intention to do that. I fell in love with the idea of research and the process of doing research.
It's just incredible to look back and think that Elmhurst has done so much for me already, and I think that's what I'll be most proud of, to think just who I've become and who I want to be still.
I think what I would remember most fondly are obviously my friends that I've made.
Making memories with those friends in really interesting places that normally wouldn't be so exciting, but they are, because you love each other and you get to know each other so well.
Between the professors and the friends that I've made, I think that will stay with me the rest of my life.
People who give back to Elmhurst, you're not only helping me, you're helping my family grow as well. Me graduating college and being the first one to graduate means that hopefully others in my family, like my nephews and nieces, can see that and want to come to a school like Elmhurst.
So when you give money to Elmhurst, you're giving these students the experience of a lifetime and the ability to become who they're meant to be.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to change our lives.
Well, thank you for being here as well, and I want to extend some thanks to a group of people. First of all, the students here, the students that were part of this video. That's really what we're here for, is to help them have their lives transformed through the power of educational opportunities. There's a lot of people that stand behind that, and today's theme is really student success, with a backdrop being the supportive Elmhurst and regional community that we have the privilege of being set in. Welcome, and thank you for coming to the 50th Annual President's Community Breakfast, and the final one at Elmhurst College, because we're going to be Elmhurst University. Now, I will tell you, Mayor, for the right dollar amount, $100 million, $200 million, we could become whatever university you want, including somebody's last name. So, it's not in the bag. It can change again, and that's available. But it's just wonderful to see so many civic, business, and governmental leaders with us today. I just want to recognize a few people. We have a very supportive Board of Trustees here on campus. Vice Chair Hugh McLean is with us. Wes Beckton is here. Raj Khanna is here. Russ Wiegand is also with us, and Kevin York, some trustees. So let's appreciate them a bit. Would the members of our alumni board that are here today stand, please? While the rest of us, yeah, give them a round of applause. They're going to be meeting while some of the rest of us start the festivities with the St. Patrick's Day parade, but I appreciate the contributions that they give to this great institution. We also have the members of, you can sit down now, Bill. We also have members of the President's Cabinet. Those are the vice presidents here on campus. Cindy, Valerie, Phil, Tim, Kurt, John, and Connie are here. Thank you for joining us. And if you're an employee of the institution, including the cabinet, I don't want to make them stand twice, just stand up and let us recognize you for all the employees that are here today. We have another special person. Ralph Pachanio is here, and I saw Ralph a little bit ago. Ralph, stand up. Now, Ralph. Yeah, thanks. Many of you know Ralph. He's maybe Mr. Elmhurst in terms of his work with the chamber and others. He's really helped with sponsoring some internships for some of our students, but he's also a Founders Medal recipient. But I think the thing I often think about, Ralph, is the business we do at basketball games with you and your grandchildren. Yesterday he was down in the Roost. We had a busy day here yesterday. Our men's basketball team won the first round game in the NCAA playoffs 97-73. They play at 5:30 p.m. Central Time here, but they play in Wooster, Ohio, and I can tell you, unless one of you have a private plane, there's no way to get there. I've looked at every commercial airline. Annette and I thought about driving, but given the 6-hour drive that it is, it's almost impossible to get there. So if you do have a private plane and you want to pick us up, you know, at the end of the parade, we would be willing to go with you. But Ralph, thank you for being such a supporter of our students and our scholar athletes and other things. And then you'll see a number of people with these pins on their lapel. Those are members of the President's Circle. And this isn't a fundraising event, but we are going to start to dial up the fundraising tone around here as we start to think about a campaign. And they're members of the President's Circle. If you want one of these pins, it's $1,000 every year. And we don't take them back, I guess, so you can keep the pin. But if you're interested in joining that group, I would encourage you to do. But thank you, President's Circle members, for all that you do for the institution. It's really important. And you can see the impact that it has on the students' lives here. And as I said before, we've been a little bit casual about fundraising. We're really going to have to dial that up moving forward because it's just a very competitive environment out there, and we have a lot of great needs, and I'm confident that our alums and friends will rise to the challenge. As we head towards our sesquicentennial anniversary in 2021, we've been making plans, implementing them, and having momentum each year on several fronts. One of the important drivers of that momentum is the Elmhurst community and all that it offers our students. Here at the college, each of us play a role in recruiting and retaining students, whether it's being a faculty member, an advisor, somebody in the financial aid office, or one of our maintenance and grounds people. We make Elmhurst College, or we try to make Elmhurst College, an attractive, compelling choice for prospective students. And once those students get here, we create an environment where they'll stay, succeed, and graduate, and then move on to do great things in their life. And so do all of you in direct and indirect ways. You know, our students are incredibly fortunate that this campus is part of this city and this community. The city of Elmhurst and DuPage County provide a welcoming, safe, and attractive community where our students can make friends, live, work, and play. It's a huge selling point for our students and undoubtedly enhances their college experience. So as I talk about what's going on campus and the successes we've had, I want each of you to realize that your role is also important in that success because it's vital to our future. So we've talked a little bit about the name change. And at the stroke of midnight on June 30th, 2020, the name's going to change, and we will become Elmhurst University. And the time is right for this change for a number of reasons. The word university more accurately reflects what we've become, and that's a comprehensive institution that offers both undergraduate and graduate programs. In fact, we're planning expansions of our graduate programs, including the strong likelihood that we'll offer doctoral programs in the near future. So the word university captures all of that potential. We're living in an increasingly interconnected, complex time, and our job is to prepare our students for a global world. And part of that means increasing the number of international students that attend Elmhurst College. But in many parts of the world, the word college refers to high school or technical school. And so our name change ends that confusion. International recruitment at Elmhurst has already more than doubled in the last 2 years, and the name change will enhance our international recruitment efforts at a time when we need every advantage in that market. Finally, there's confusion over the word college versus university, even regionally. When our graduates are out looking for jobs, they've mentioned that some employers believe that they attended a community college because they're thinking of organizations like College of DuPage, Triton, and Harper College. Now, Elmhurst has some really great partnerships with several of our two-year colleges, and a lead example of that is the College of DuPage. Annette and I are honored today to be sitting by President Caputo and his lovely wife Karen at our table in front here, and I appreciate the partnerships that we have together, and I know we are looking for ways where appropriate to continue to expand upon that. However, most two-year institutions have dropped the words community or junior from their names, and that causes confusion amongst our prospective students, whether at the undergraduate, graduate, or even non-traditional levels. So even though our name's changing for a lot of good reasons, what's not going to change is who we are, our DNA, our identity, our core values, our emphasis on liberal arts education and real-world professional preparation. Our student focus will never change with small class sizes and low student-faculty ratios. And our emphasis on teaching and mentoring. As you may have seen in the slideshow that was playing as you walked in or even during our breakfast, we're really pleased at the fact that the most recent U.S. News and World Reports says that we're number 6 in the entire Midwest for undergraduate teaching. And that's one of our points of pride across the organization. We also are proud of our tradition of civic engagement and social responsibility. It's because we're making this name change now from a position of institutional strength and in concert with our sesquicentennial, it's a word you should all practice, sesquicentennial, but we're making this in concert with that. The name change will help us showcase our successes and hopefully provide us with additional opportunities. You're all going to be invited back to join us on July 1st and throughout the rest of the year as we celebrate becoming Elmhurst University. So, since developing the Elmhurst 2021 strategic plan in 2017, we've put that plan in place and it's beginning to bear fruit, especially this past year. One of the areas is with regard to recruitment and retention. At a time when other colleges are struggling with enrollment, ours has been growing at both the undergraduate and the graduate levels. At the same time, we've not only maintained, but slightly increased our high academic standards for incoming students. I mentioned a little bit about international students, and that's also been doing well. We've doubled the number of international students on the campus this year from 50 to over 100. That's even with the significant challenges that many have seen as institutions have seen their international recruitment dwindle down. But an indicator that means the most to me, and not just because I'm a mathematics professor or a numbers guy, is our retention rate. It's the #1 statistic I look at every semester. And what I mean by that is it's the rate at which our students are returning, especially during that critical first year. Retention is a key indicator of graduation rates, which affect career placement and students' overall life trajectory. Retention is also a comprehensive indicator of how well we as an institution are serving our students, because everything goes into retention, from recruitment to academics to placement, and the atmosphere and the community that our students call home. So as a first-generation college graduate, as well as a numbers guy, I'm proud to report that we've seen significant increases in student retention rates. Retention gains among returning students, that's the percentage of first-year students who go on to their sophomore year at Elmhurst, rose this year to 82.5%, which is up 7 percentage points over 3 years ago. And just this last week, we learned that the fall to spring retention rates for first-year students is up another 1.6 percentage points. And so just like yesterday when our basketball team was up by 10 points at halftime, we realize that we're not at the point where we can celebrate this year's success being even higher, but it certainly is better than being down 10 points. And so we're really looking forward to continuing to move along this trajectory because it's important. There's a lot of costs that go into higher education, whether it be from the governmental support, the borrowing that goes on by families, or even the direct payments that take place. And when it works out, meaning that student walks across the stage and gets their college degree and goes on to employment, everybody celebrates. And when it doesn't, you sort of wonder what went wrong and what could we do a little bit different. And so really, I'm really pleased about that. And the fact that this retention rate gains tells us that we are increasingly meeting the needs of our students. And the gains that we've made are important on all different levels. And I appreciate the community's support in this important endeavor. I hope you take pride in it, as certainly I do. We've also launched several new programs in the academic areas and have areas of interest to our students. New programs in digital media and environmental studies started this last fall. And then this upcoming fall, we're starting new programs in cybersecurity and public health. We've also received $2.75 million in grants from the National Science Foundation this past year, including a $1.75 million grant to establish an alliance of 8 institutions, including the College of DuPage, which Elmhurst College is pleased to be the lead institution. The goals of this $1.75 million grant are pretty simple. We want to double the number of underrepresented students graduating in STEM fields. And what makes this alliance unique is that we're mostly made up of private institutions and also have a community college partner in College of DuPage. So what I want you to imagine as a student enrolling either at Elmhurst or the College of DuPage, or other regional institutions this next fall. They're then going to have a mentor throughout their time. They're going to have summer undergraduate research opportunities. If they entered at the College of DuPage, they would then maybe be able to come to an institution like Elmhurst. And I think Elmhurst may have an advantage. Well, that's what being the lead institution would give you, right? But no, more than that, the other $1 million grant we received was to provide scholarship support for transfer students coming to Elmhurst in STEM fields. And so this double factor here really gives us a lot of confidence and a lot of support in a really important area. And more importantly, the partnership and teamwork that will result in the lives being transformed by higher education is powerful, and it says a little bit about the types of institutions that we're working with. All these things are great, but you have to keep the financial aspect of things in mind, because we all know what happens when you sort of get behind that. And we've had an impressive results the last few years. We've raised more than $24 million in funds since 2016. More than $6 million of that was for scholarship aid that directly benefits students. In fact, this past December, we had an anonymous donor give us $200,000, and he wanted it matched within the next 20 days at that particular time. And I told the donor, I said, we'll match it. I just didn't know, on the 10th of December, whether we were going to be able to do it by the end of the year. I'm pleased to tell you that we raised more than $590,000 in the month of December as a result of that challenge. Over the past 3.5 years, we've grown our endowment and reserves from 90 million to 140 million. That actually was as of last week. I have no idea what it is as of this week. But what this means is that we have several million in reserve funds that we can invest in projects, facilities, or strategic initiatives, along with a much stronger permanent endowment. We've even got banks suggesting that they might be willing to loan us $40 or $50 million. Not that we're going to do that, but that gives you a little bit of a sense on the financial strength of the institution moving forward. And then, as you've heard many times here, the ongoing community partnerships with a number of organizations in the city of Elmhurst and the surrounding region really are a source of support for us as an institution. Internship programs at the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce, cultural partnerships with the Elmhurst Art Museum, the Elmhurst History Museum, and Elmhurst Public Library. We have lots of collaboration with the City College Commission, including the City of Elmhurst, Elmhurst College Commission, the Public Arts Commission, the Explore Elmhurst Advisory Committee, and the Elmhurst Economic Development Commission. Facilities and programming, and you'll see a slide in just a little bit about a great project we did with the Elmhurst Park District, where we share a turf together at Barron's Park. We have a terrific commitment and relationship with local law enforcement. And then we really saw it this past fall when the campus experienced some offensive graffiti incidents on campus. The police investigated, the DuPage County Sheriff's Department office was here. They helped our students and employees feel safe by adding patrols and really partnering with us. But Mayor Morley, City Manager Garbowsky gave me calls or texts, even just how you navigate that politically, something I guess city officials would know how you have to navigate political things, like Chief Ruth, even Dan Cronin, called and said, if there's anything the county can do. And so there really was this sort of rallying around helping this institution navigate something that really impacted individuals on this campus. Whether there was a real threat or it was just perceived, it didn't matter. People wanted to feel safe, and we worked through that in a very successful way to get together, or as successful as you can in such a situation. Sustainability-related partnerships continue to grow with the college and the community. Cool Cities Coalition, Elmhurst Garden Club, and the county-wide SCARES program. And even our student consulting work with the city offices and local businesses and nonprofit organizations continues to gain traction. And if you just think about all the ways that this city provides such a rich and beneficial environment for our students, you can realize why we're so pleased to be located here as opposed to some of the communities that our competitors unfortunately have to work with. From time to time, I have occasion to look a bit closely at competitors and their models, which are often distressed. I'm asked, well, what are the key reasons why Elmhurst is having success when so many other institutions aren't? And certainly our marketing improvements, a new website, some robust social media makes a sense. We've got our head of admissions and some of our admissions people here, and moving their offices to the front of campus as opposed to the top floor of the old gymnasium didn't hurt. And also the attitude that they have with regards to customer service and getting out there. there's also a lot of teamwork, innovation with academic programs going on, but it's the community that really makes a difference. Even the thought that there's a metro station or that there's even a new metro station coming in makes, I wonder if our students use it, but they like the idea that they could use it, and they do use it. My daughter and 8 of her sorority sisters are in town. They're going to be walking in the parade. So you'll see a group of Hillsdale College students that will be in the parade wearing Elmhurst College gear. But you know, they went and took the train down last night, and they said, well, we met a bunch of Elmhurst students down at this concert. I hope they didn't touch each other because of the coronavirus. But, you know, and so you can see how we just really have the best. We have a safe, welcoming community, but immediate access to a world-class city nearby. You almost couldn't think of a better environment to have an institution in these days. And partnerships are best when they come from strength from both sides. I mean, Annette agreed to partner with a weaker link, but very few people do that, you know, or very few organizations do that. You know, usually you want a strong partnership because then you come to it and saying, listen, we're gonna accentuate this where it makes sense, as opposed to, you know, feeling forced and having 2 weak things that are going to kind of drag each other down in some ways. And so that's really the way I look at our partnerships here, is it's a lot of strength coming together, and you don't feel like you have to say yes when you don't want to. And you know, the other organization, even though we want to say yes, we look at it from a very pragmatic and what can we do together that will work. We've been working on our facilities master plan, and that's something we're going to continue to work on. We've made great progress so far, completing several improvements. If you go into our library, you can see that it's been transformed with a new learning center and other renovations in the library. Lots of technology updates in classrooms and other areas on campus. You might have noticed that if you used to we had open wireless, and now you have to register as a guest so we can track you wherever you go now. But lots of things like that. There's a green roof on the Frick Center in this building, which is the right thing to do in this day and age. And as you can see, the turf I talked about, the partnerships with the Park District on the new turf at Barron's Park, they're just examples of what we've been doing. And this summer, we're planning on doing more as we really rapidly expand into some other things. Now, if all goes well with our board, that is, next week, this summer is going to line up to be a very busy time. Our Buildings and Grounds Committee has already endorsed a list of summer projects, and that will be going before our board next week. And those include a new digital media lab that will also support our new esports initiative and some programming that's related to that fast-growing area. You can see on the screen here a design for a significant renovation of Faginal Hall. And for some of you, yes, that means there'll be some seats with backs on it finally there. But it's a new basketball court and backboards, new bleachers, a new flooring system, both the main court and the Mondo surface that will go around that. And you can even see that there's a walking track going to be in that facility. And of course, we're looking to expand our parking and provide a nice boulevard for people to walk along with the acquisition of Walter Street. But what's so exciting about these projects is certainly they'll benefit the lives of the campus and the student, but we also feel that Elmhurst residents may benefit from some of these things because they'll be able to come and use our improved facilities. And as I said before, for example, the walking track that sometimes may be open to the community during the brutal winter months that we have, you know, in January and February in this city. So if you're interested in supporting these projects, and as I said, we're going to be a little more aggressive about this, don't hesitate to let us know. You know, that President Circle brochure, I'm sure it has something in there where you know who to contact. And you can even do it today. Well, Valerie, would you take somebody coming up today to do some things in that regard? Because we have bigger projects coming, we're extremely excited about some projects that will directly engage the city. So as the city looks to put a new train station in place, the college is looking to put a new gateway to the city that will lead right into that train station. And so my way I think about that is that we love the gates of knowledge that we have out here on the east side of campus, but that's really pointing towards a park and other things. We're thinking about this gateway turning and facing the city to really symbolize the partnership that we have with the Elmhurst community. I also want to invite you back to campus, and this is the third time I've mentioned it, July 1. Pick your vacation times before or after July 1, but you need to be here on July 1. Around the lunch hour, we're going to invite each of you back to campus when we're going to hold our Elmhurst University dedication ceremony over by the gates of knowledge, which are in the east part of campus. And we're going to leave those gates up, because they say Elmhurst College, until right after commencement. I don't know if that day we're going to take them down, but the day after, we're going to take them down, and they're going to be shipped off to be back here, probably to be set in place on the 30th, and they'll be wrapped up. So if you want the first selfie with the Elmhurst University Gates of Knowledge, be here. But we will, in all seriousness, we'll have a nice reception. We're going to invite all of our partners back, all of our community members, employees, and students will be there, and we'll just have a nice event surrounding the lunch hour, and we would enjoy seeing some of you back here. And we're going to celebrate several other events throughout the year that you can come back. When the students come back, we have something called the Taste of Elmhurst, where local businesses and student clubs and organizations fill this mall. That's probably why you got kicked off of the for playing football, Lee, is because we had an event going on in the mall. And other times like homecoming, we'll be celebrating that. And then the sesquicentennial countdown begins. And we're going to have a lot of amazing events. I think we're going to take on the city in a historical baseball game here with the History Museum early in the summer. But the day that I would ask you to put on your calendar, if you could, December 6th, 2021. December 6, 1871 is when 14 individuals got off a train and Elmhurst College really began as an institution. And so we're going to have that day we're going to have a year-long series of celebrations, but that day we're planning on being our community open house. We'll probably reenact that, our creation of the institution with people walking from the train station here, and just a lot of things involved there. And so stay tuned. There's a lot of great things happening at this institution. And know that from the college's perspective, soon to be university's perspective, we just couldn't ask for a better location, a better place, and better partners here. And I just appreciate all that you do to help us continue to move forward. Have a great day, whether you're going to the St. Patrick's Day parade or other things, and go Blue Jays.
You can tell why we're all excited about the president and all the work that he does on behalf of this school, the students, and of course our community. Sesquicentennial. I'm going to work on that. Sesquicentennial. All right, everybody, ready? Sesquicentennial. Okay, we got it. So having said that, one of the things I remember, right, as you were speaking, yes, I was here at the first breakfast at Elmhurst College. I'm here at the last breakfast at Elmhurst College, spanning over 50 years. Wow, believe that. So, of course, as I was listening to the president and his remarks, I couldn't help but think about my hometown. A hometown that started many years ago. Today is led by great leaders, but now it's global in nature. Think of the programs that this college has that impacts the students as they go forward with their careers, and how it's global in nature today. So my hometown has become a global hometown, one that interacts throughout the country, with 100 international students on top of that. So congratulations once again. So just an announcement of a few things, of course, paying attention to our basketball team. May they continue to win and bring home a top championship would be exciting. But also today's St. Patrick's Day Parade, which I know you're all going to head over there. Scott has his green tie on. He's going to be marching in it. And you got it. March 17th is Election Day. Please remember how critical it is today to vote for those people that will represent you in government. They do a great job. Please, please turn out and vote and make sure your views are counted in doing that. June 2nd is the Blue Jay Backer Golf Outing. For those of you that play golf, and I know led by Hugh and Kevin York are going to really lead the process on making sure they golf with Kevin Diamond. And June Jazz is June 27th. Mark that on your calendar. And thank you again to our great combo, Cole, Juliet, and Andrew. Thank you. So, yes, we can do another round of applause for that. Of course, the president remarked on July 1, Spring Forward is tonight, another great event. Don't forget that daylight savings time starts tonight. I guess at 2 o'clock in the morning is official. So I know Tom will be up to change all his clocks at that time, right, Tom? So as we adjourn and move forward, let me give some special thanks to the Special Events Committee of the college. They're the ones that do all the work to make this happen. So thanks to the special events, the Marketing and Communications Department, Chartwells for their great food, and of course my assistant Peggy Cheddar, who does all the work in my office. So thank you to all of them. But as we depart and move forward with our new day and new challenges every day, my wife and I were just catching a little bit of TV last night, and one of the quotes on the TV kind of brought so many things to memory that I was listening to their comments, and it said, the best way to predict your future, is to create it. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Those are things that we're doing here at the college every day. And so I looked that up, and I wanted to know who wrote that, who delivered that quote. Abraham Lincoln. Another wise quote. So go forth, and the best way for you to predict your future is to create it. Bless you, and thank you for being here.
I count, you count,
everyone counts
Elmhurst. The city of Elmhurst is home to over 45,000 residents.
The U.S. Constitution mandates that everyone in the country be counted every 10 years. The United States counts everyone living in the country on April 1st, regardless of their nationality or living situation.
Completing the census is mandatory. It's a way to participate in our democracy and say, I count. Taking part is your civic duty.
The census is about fair representation at the federal level. Every 10 years, the results of the census are used to determine how many seats each state gets in the House of Representatives.
After each decade's census, congressional, state, and local legislative district boundaries are redrawn to account for population shifts, including Elmhurst ward boundaries.
The census is a snapshot in time. It aims to count the entire population of our country and the location each person usually lives. The census asks questions of people in homes and group living situations, including how many people live or stay in each home, as well as the sex, age, and race of each person. The goal is to count everyone once, only once, and in the right place.
When you respond to the census, you help Elmhurst get its fair share of the more than $675 billion per year in federal funds spent on schools, hospitals, roads, public works, and other vital programs. Federal funds, grants, and support to states, counties, and communities are based on population totals and breakdowns by sex, age, race, and other factors. The community benefits most when the census counts everyone.
The census is a valuable tool for improving communities across the country. Funds distributed from the census equate to approximately $6 million annually for the city of Elmhurst. That allocation provides funding for local projects such as road resurfacing and supports community initiatives from public safety preparedness to quality of life and economic development growth. If members of the community don't respond to the census, Elmhurst may not receive the funding it deserves.
Your census responses are safe and secure. The Census Bureau is required by law to protect any personal information collected and keep it strictly confidential. Your answers may only be used to produce statistics. They cannot be used for law enforcement purposes or to determine your personal eligibility for government benefits. To be clear, there will not be a citizenship question and respondents will not be required to submit their Social Security number.
2020 will introduce the first modern census, the first to be available online. The days of the old-fashioned, long-form census are over. Because getting an accurate count is so important, the process is designed to be fast and easy. On average, it takes no more than 10 minutes to answer the questions on the census.
Beginning in March 2020, when it's time to respond, households will receive an invitation in the mail from the U.S. Census Bureau. Every household will have the option of responding online, by mail, or by phone. Households that don't respond in one of these ways will be visited by a census taker to collect the information in person. In the 2010 census, only 86% of Elmhurst households responded. You can help create a better future for Elmhurst by responding to the 2020 census. Providing an up-to-date and accurate count of our population is critical.
With an accurate snapshot of the Elmhurst community, the Park District is able to plan, budget, and develop new parks and programs that will be beneficial to the Elmhurst community.
An estimated 5% of children under the age of 5 weren't counted in the 2010 census. Census results help us understand how demographics, including income, education levels, and population size, are changing in Elmhurst. Having an accurate picture of all residents, including children 5 and younger, allows District 205 to engage in long-term planning to meet the needs of current and future students.
The Elmhurst Public Library, Elmhurst School District 205, the Elmhurst Park District, and City of Elmhurst are committed partners in making sure all of Elmhurst is counted accurately in the 2020 census.
Each week leading up to the census deadline, you can learn more about your fellow Elmhurst residents who are likewise committed to being counted in 2020. Join us in being counted.
Remember, the census counts all people living or staying at an address, not just the person or family who owns or rents the property. So be sure to include your entire household.
To learn more about the U.S. Census, local programming, and where to find assistance in responding to Census 2020, please visit the city's website, elmhurst.org/census2020.